This is an image from Velvia 50, one of the most popular films ever created by Fujifilm for landscape photographers. And this is a post-processed image using software called Dehancer to emulate the look of Velvia 50 film. And if you haven't heard of Dehancer, it's a film emulation tool that was created by scientists to make your photographs look more like film. So about 20 years ago, I worked at a professional photo lab that processed mostly film for wedding photographers, landscape photographers, and architects. And one unique experience I had while working there was seeing all the different types of film and how they were used. Now, at this time, film had been pretty much perfected by companies like Kodak and Fuji to make color in your images just look better. If you were a landscape photographer, you mostly shot Velvia or Provia for its vivid colors. If you were a wedding photographer, you shot Kodak Portra for better skin tones and less contrast. And if you were a black and white photographer, you mostly shot Fuji Ilford. Now today, most cameras and photography software like Lightroom use a few basic color profiles. And that usually includes a portrait profile, a landscape profile, a vivid profile, and some sort of black and white profile. And they really aren't that terrible, but they're not that great either. And you can make your own profiles, but if you're not a color scientist, it's next to impossible to get the look of film. And so that's where Dehancer comes in. So Dehancer brings the film look back to digital photography. If you remember Kodak Gold, that was pretty much the film that everyone used. Dehancer actually has that style, and it has like 60 other styles that include cinematic styles, black and white styles, and a whole lot more. And before using this, I was a little skeptical at first, but after trying it, I was pretty surprised how much my digital landscape photos actually looked like they were shot on Velvia 50. And if you've ever tried to make a landscape photograph imitate Velvia, it's really difficult. And I actually tried replacing some of the reds for this photograph, and after about 20 minutes, I gave up. There's a lot of precise coloring that went into creating this software, and it's also really easy to use. So to use it, all you have to do is just install the software and then add the plugin in Lightroom. You can also use Photoshop or Capture One or whatever software you're using. And then you just click on the image, you click on edit in Dehancer just like you would do edit in Photoshop when using Lightroom. And that's pretty much it. So Dehancer has additional settings, but you really don't need them. You can push, you can pull the film, you can do things like that. They just have additional settings that would act more like film. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick preview on how the software works and some of the film styles. And just to let you know up front, Dehancer did give me the software free of charge in return for an honest review. And I would say after using it, I was skeptical at first, but I actually think it is a really good product. And I was looking for something like this, just a way to bring those film days back and have some of those same film styles. And I've been really impressed with how they've been able to just imitate those styles and also make the images actually have that same film grain. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with this image right here. So all I'm gonna do is I right click on this image and I go to edit in Dehancer. Now this will automatically bring up Dehancer, and what I can do here on the left is it says film type, and so I can choose whatever film type I want. I got color negatives, motion picture, color positive, black and white, instant, exotic, cross. And so I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to say color positive. This is Provia 100. And you kind of had to mess around a little bit. Some images I think just look better. This is Fujichrome CDU Cross. This is Velvia 100. I don't really like how that one looks. Fuji Color 100. And then you can go to black and white, and there's not a ton of options here, but you get the basic ones. My favorite was always Ilford, HP 5 plus 400. I know a lot of people use Kodak. I just always preferred Ilford. And then this is the XP2 Super 400. And then here's Kodak Eastman's Double X. So lots of different options to choose from here. Okay, so I brought this image into Dehancer, and this is with Fujichrome Velvia 50, and I think this image is really popping now. So this is before, what it looked like without any editing. A little bit more yellows, you don't really see the pinks as much, and this is with Velvia. Okay, so here's another image that I showed earlier, and this is the image without Velvia 50, and this is with Velvia 50. All right, so here are the images again side by side. The left is the original, and the right one is the emulation grain of Fuji Velvia 50. If you see here in the sky, there's a lot more pinks and also purples. The sky actually looks more like the sky should look, and there's a lot more oranges here at the sunset. If you look at the greens, you'll notice there's a little bit more reds. And then in the rocks, it's just a little bit more purple, bluish, and same with the water overall. So I would say overall, I'm pretty happy with the image. I think it turned out really well with this original image, just making all the colors just pop a little bit more. There's not too much contrast. It's just giving that image a little bit more life. Okay, and here is a portrait shot. So this is just with Kodak Gold 200, and we're going from Kodak Gold to Kodak Portra. So you're gonna get a little bit more muted skin tones with Portra. This is Kodak Portra 400. And then this is Kodak Pro Image 100, which I think it kind of looks a little bit better with, you still get those muted skin tones. And then the last one I was going to show is Kodak Supra 100, which is kind of give you more of a natural look overall. And then going back, we're going to go to positives and just look at Velvia one more time, which Velvia is just going to make everything a little bit more vivid. The colors in the skin are just, it's a little too much contrast for me, but you notice the pinks are starting to show up in the skies, and same with the greens. All right, so who is this program for? Who's going to be using Dehancer? So this software is great for landscape photographers. It's for anyone who wants their film to look more like Velvia, where they get those warm tones. But it's also going to be really good for like wedding photographers that need a better profile for their skin tones, like Kodak Portra. But you can also use it just to explore other profiles, or if you're looking for a more retro style. Now, this software doesn't just imitate film, it also adds film grain, so the final photograph actually looks like film. And it allows for pushing and pulling just like you used to be able to do in a photo lab. Now, as for pricing, you can buy Dehancer as a one-time cost of $199, or you can pay using their subscription model for 3 months at $69, 6 months at $89, or 1 year for $129. Or you can try it out for free as a 2-week free trial. And be sure to use my code DAVIDM for an additional 10% off. So that's Dehancer. It's a cool way to make your digital images look more like film. If you're interested, I'll leave links in the description below. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.